Welcome back. It is Spa-Francorchamps for round 8 of the Ultimate Racing Network's V8 Supercars 2015 Championship. This is qualifying. 20 minutes these drivers will have on track to set their fastest time. I'm your host, Ryan McDowell, Siphon68, and also in the commentating box with me is Ryan Shelton. Say hello.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So this should be pretty interesting. It's a rather long track for a regular season race here, but should be pretty exciting, I think, as this is a very flowing track. We're going to see a lot of people really pushing the car. They don't get as many laps as normal, but it still should be fairly exciting to watch here.
Yeah, with such a long track and, you only get 20 minutes to do it, you really only have about a few flying laps to get down a really good lap.
Collisions are off in this qualifying session, so drivers don't have to worry about running into each other or draft or anything like that.
Yeah, with this track, it's definitely not the easiest to do a full good lap on. You will see, I think in this one we'll see sort of what we had last week. We're going to have one guy who's run a really, really, really good lap, and then a few other ones that have run pretty decent laps, but then when it gets to the race, it'll be a lot different. You'll see, the faster guys come to the top. It's really going to be a matter of also who can, survive on this track, because even though there is a lot of runoff and a lot of areas to kind of make your way through, there's also a lot of parts of this track that are really hard to get the power down, get the car to turn, and also do what you need to do correctly to make a clean lap, especially coming down through here coming down to Eau Rouge. That's a very, very big problem spot, especially if you try to go 2 and 3 wide there.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now they're on their out lap. So this lap really will not be the bar. In fact, for most of these guys, it looks like it's going to be a dirty lap. Several guys going wide just on these cold tires here. First lap, we will see right after this one. And with 20 minutes, they're going to have, yes, plenty of time, but again, fewer laps than normal to set their fastest time in. Just a couple coming across the line here. We are riding on board with LRT Breeze right now, just starting his first lap down into La Source. Very tricky to get as close as you possibly can, but not really get too much tire on that rumble strip. It will upset the car.
Yeah, LRT Breeze last week had his very first pole, and I'm sure that was a really, real big boost for him, considering what he has been doing. He's been doing really well in the races, but his qualifying hasn't been the best, and that really helped him out last week, get that first race win, and then a very, very epic second race that came down to the very last lap.
Yeah, that was a really exciting race. I know there was quite a bit of bumping going on between the top 3 even, but really the top 2, it got kind of heated there, between LRT Breeze and TPR Zermatt. But in the end, it produced some pretty fantastic racing to watch.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more interesting races we've had, and it was a really good race to just sit down and watch. Have these guys go at it. And there was a little bit too much on the beating and banging, but overall it was a really, really great race, and the fact that they were just so close together throughout the whole race was really, really great.
Yeah, we're seeing LRT Breeze now just come out of Puhan.
And I think this track is going to produce some really good racing between these two, between the Mercedes, the Volvo, and the Ford of GSR Roadrunner and Breeze and Zermatt. We're really going to see these guys really be able to do things that they're going to race really well, and these cars work really well with each other. With the Mercedes having all that top end speed, but the Volvo and Ford having a little more on the handling side. And this track being kind of a mixture of both, I really think you're going to see these guys stay really close together, especially in that first race.
Just coming out of the bus stop now, we're going to see LRT Breeze set in his time. It is definitely be faster than GSR Roadrunner because he started this lap behind him. He locks in a 223.089.
Which most people will look at that and be like, oh, that's slow. Because the only times you really know are the F1 times.
Yeah, but for V8 Supercars, that's still a pretty quick time.
Yeah, when you have the fastest guys here in the series, or here in these cars. I mean, these are some of the fastest guys in these cars that you can even possibly find. And they're putting down these lap times, so you're not going to get much quicker unless you start upgrading the car.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's now ride on board with someone else. We followed LRT Breeze. LRT Nath is in second right now with a 224.554, a full second and a half back from his teammate. But it's N6R Gannon that's third right now with a 225.119. It's going to be tough to find the right pace here, I think, with it being as long as it is.
Like I said, I mean, last week at Daytona it was a pretty long track, but you had a lot of straightaway to kind of mask some of your mistakes. Whereas this track, you have a lot of corners, an absolutely lot of corners. So you have to get every one of them perfect to make a really, really great lap. I think we'll start to see some of these characters, put down a really surprising lap. You'll see a few of these guys be able to do a really quick lap that most others won't be able to keep up with.
Yeah, for sure. I think we will see an alien lap pulled out here. I mean, not that there are an exceedingly large number of tracks. It's just with it being the distance that it is, those little corrections lead to longer straights than normal on this track, and so the perfection counts for a lot because you're able to get up to a little bit faster top speed on each of these little straights. Especially out of like Stabilo at the bottom, there's a lot of time to be gained because that determines your speed into the bus stop at the end. GSR Roadrunner then does move up into second with a 224.024, so a full second behind, but still secures that second place.
You can really tell these guys are really wanting it. If you're watching them at the very bottom of that Rouge, they are really trying to get the most as they can to get that apex correct to go up the hill.
Stolze slash fourth. That's pretty impressive.
At 24.5, yeah, that's a pretty good lap from him. I mean, it's a second and a half off, but with the length of this track, the distance between, the relative time between drivers you're going to see a bigger gap than most other tracks because of the difficulty and also the length of this track.
Absolutely. We're riding on board with him right now. He's coming down into Puhan here. This is another area that is easy to go wide here, and the game doesn't penalize you for it. But he keeps it clean here. The chicane he's going through right now is always so touchy because you're never really sure when to get back on the throttle, how much you can put in it. And it's really down to the tires. If you've got the tires in the right range, you can get on it a little bit sooner. Otherwise, you're gonna spin up those rears and get a little bit more sideways, lose some time.
And also, I mean, I for me personally, I think that's probably my favorite corner of the track. Eau Rouge, yeah, it's cool and all, but the flow between the 13, 14, and then down into 15 and 16 is just a lot of fun. Especially when you get it right, it's a lot of fun to get through there correctly. Yeah, these cars in general are just a lot of fun to drive on just about any track.
Looks like we've had our first connection casualty. Actually, two of them. We've had Jono the One and XPR Falcon both out. XPR Falcon has set a time. Jono the One was out almost immediately. Now riding on board with GSR Roadrunner. Just coming out of Lacombe right now. Appears to be just behind Skulzy Slash. He's got that DVUK Motorsport Ford there, the No Fear Racing livery. Just under 9 minutes to go here in qualifying. You know, another big shocker here, Midland Zeta, 7th, with a 225.790. We got to remember that TPR Zermatt is actually in the other qualifying lobby, so you know there should be another one in the top 3 there. How fast? You know, I don't know how fast he can go around here, but we know he's typically quick, very quick.
Yeah, he had 4 poles in a row, so imagine he's getting close to maybe grabbing another one. These guys are definitely going for it. You can definitely see GSR Roadrunner here. He's using a lot of the track, making sure he uses as much of the track as he can to see if he can't secure a better lap time, because right now he's about a second off the pace from LRT Breeze.
Does not improve that lap. One that did move up quite a bit, DKS Monkey, just moved up into 7th. Now riding on board with F4H Miko. He's currently 6th.
A few of them. It looks like LRT Breeze has actually stepped his time up just a little bit to 22.8.
Geez, just setting the bar that much higher, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely getting quick. He's trying to go for 2 poles in a row for him after having his first one last week at Daytona. Again, a very event-filled race that he had there. He snagged a race 1 win, and the race 2 he ended up 3rd or 2nd place. After what may have been one of probably the most exciting finishes to a race we've had yet. I mean, Monza was very
Monza was pretty amazing, yeah, between Zermatt and GSR Roadrunner.
Yeah.
really just tenths between them as they cross the line.
Yeah, that was a really good race. And last week, like I said, we had a really good finish between all three of them. They were really close there at the end after the contact that Zermatt and Breeze connected with.
Now riding on board with Midland Zeta. Midland Zeta is currently 8th with his time of 2:25.790.
Looks like Roadrunner actually moved up to a 22.8 also, so he has improved his lap time dramatically.
Holy cow, just 0.04 of a second different between the two.
Yeah, and LRT Nath he's moved up to a 23.9, so these guys are here towards the end of the session have started to figure out what kind of line they need to get to make sure they get the best lap time they can. These guys are they're really trying to make sure they get a really good lap time out of their laps here. They definitely don't want to be left out in the dust.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's still just shocking to me how close those two times are. Like, not only did he get into the 222s, he managed to get within 0.04 of a second of grabbing provisional pole in here.
Yeah.
We also said...
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we still don't know where Zermatt is on his lap times. So that's the only,
very true.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we don't know just yet.
Just 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes rather to go in this qualifying session.
Slash is still in fourth with a 2:24.5. DKS Monkey and N6R Gannon are separated by 2/1000ths of a second, with a 2:25.117 for DKS Monkey and a 2:25.119 for N6R Gannon. So it looks like when they get into the race, it's going to be very close between them.
Yeah, that's going to be great to watch that fight unfold.
Because between them and an F4H Miko with a 2:25.3, they're really close right there in times. And last week at Daytona, we did see that mid-pack have a really good race also. Especially in that first race, they had a really good fight throughout the whole entire race.
On board now with Mr. Stepanov. Doing what he can to represent Holden.
Yeah. He's the only Holden in the series. The only full-time Holden.
He's currently 10th with a 2:26.804. This will have to be his last lap to do it, too. The next lap, there's not enough time to get it done. In fact, it'll be interesting to see whether he can get this lap done. He should be able to make this lap.
Yeah, Breeze was actually able to up his lap time just a little bit with a 2:22.7. So he's gave himself a little bit of distance over Roadrunner. We'll have to see if see where Zermatt places himself between all those. Stefanov got very loose through Puhan.
He is on it. That probably dirtied it going out as wide as he did.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe not. He just got sideways, really. He did not go out.
Yeah, he got very sideways. He's trying every bit he can to get into the get into that top split.
This is looking a little pressured here from Stepanov. We're seeing him make a couple of mistakes here and there.
He's at a 2:26.8. which is about 4 seconds off the top time. But he, looking at, you know, some of these other guys, he may be able to get into the top lobby. Even though he is 4 seconds off the top, he's still, you know, he's only a 10th behind N6R Crazy, who's a pretty decently quick driver.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got 15 seconds left to cross the line. He'll definitely have enough time to do that. Was going to be a close call, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does he improve his time?
Doesn't look like it.
No, 2:26.804 still.
So we'll see if he...
And with that, qualifying comes to an end.
So we'll get... Stay tuned. Just here in just about 30 minutes, we'll see these guys put down their first race, 25-minute timed race. Should be around 60 kilometers. So we'll see these guys battle it out for the first race. And the second race is a reverse grid based on point standings. So we'll see these guys go at it for that first race. And the second race will be kind of letting the chains loose on the Lions.
Absolutely. So the race then starts in about 30 minutes time. Be sure to stay right here on twitch.tv/turnmedia. Thanks for watching, guys.